Everybody, welcome to Solving Trig Equations Part 7. Trying a new format here. Nicholas JMV here. We're going to be using identities to help us solve some of these trig equations. Okay, so this can be a little more challenging. So let's look at our first example here. And we're going to look at solving the equation cosine of 2x plus 3 sine of x minus 2 equals 0 over 0 to 2 pi. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my equation, which is what I always do. So cosine of 2x plus 3 sine of x minus 2 equals 0. So the first thing that we want to look at is the fact that the cosine of 2x equals 1 minus 2 sine squared x. I have to double check that there. Okay, so that's one of our properties that we should know. So why would I use this? Why would I even think to use this? Well, because I can't factor. There's 3 terms here, and I'm like, well, I can't really factor anything. And so we're going to replace this cosine of 2x with 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Okay, now we have plus 3 sine of x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, we can combine like terms here, the 1 and the 2. So we're going to have negative 2 sine squared of x plus 3 sine of x. All right, minus 1 equals 0. And we're going to go ahead and multiply everything through by negative 1 because we don't want that. We're actually going to use factoring here, but we don't want that here. So we're going to have 2 sine squared when you multiply by negative 1. So notice the signs change on everything. So I could use u substitution here, but we're to the point where maybe we can just go ahead and factor this. So if I pretend this is an x and this is x, so 2 times 1, 2 numbers that multiply to be 2 and add to be negative 3 would be sine x. Okay, it would be minus 2 and sine x minus 1, that's going to be equal to 0. Okay, so notice how 2 numbers that multiply to be 2 and add to be negative 3 are negative 2, negative 1. However, I just have sine and sine. I need 2 sine, so I'm going to divide this by 2, divide this by 2. Okay, and we get things like this becomes 1, this becomes 1, nothing here. So we're left with sine of x minus 1 times the quantity 2 sine of x minus 1 equals 0. So what we have now is we have sine of x minus 1 equals 0, or 2 sine of x minus 1 equals 0, because when you multiply 2 numbers together and their product is 0, one of them has to be 0. So where does sine of x equal 1, or where does sine of x equal 1/2? So what angle gives me a sine of 1? That's pi over 2. And that's it. And what angle gives me sine of 1/2? Well, that's pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. Okay? So my 3 solutions are pi over 2, pi over 6, and 5 pi over 6. So that's one of our problems using identities to solve our problem. So if you have any questions or comments on that, go ahead, and I'm about to make the second video, so you can go ahead and type them below. We'll see you next time.